Hey guys, Robbie Robot here. In honor of the Resident Evil 3 remake coming out, I'm going to be playing the Resident Evil 1 remake today, followed up later by the Resident Evil 2 remake, and then when Resident Evil 3 drops, we'll play that. So we're going to be doing the trilogy. This video is going to drop on April 1st. April Fool's Day. As always, when we get to a cutscene, I'm just going to let it play. Because I will be doing the cutscenes, I'm going to be playing with a save game where I have the I believe the Samurai Edge handgun. To save some time with all the item management throughout the game and whatnot.
Resident Evil.
I'm gonna be rolling with Jill. I think I'll do her classic outfit here. Alright, let's get into it. Hope you guys enjoy.
Alpha Team is flying around the forest zone, situated in northwest Raccoon City, where we are searching for the helicopter of our compatriots, Bravo Team, who disappeared during the middle of their mission.
Haven't found it yet?
No, not yet, Brad. Bizarre murder cases have recently occurred in Raccoon City. There are outlandish reports of families being attacked by a group of about 10 people. Victims were apparently eaten. The Bravo Team was sent in to investigate, but we lost contact.
Look, Chris.
Bravo Team's helicopter was a derelict. Save for the remaining body of Kevin. We continued our search for the other members, and it turned into a nightmare. This way. Damn it! Make for that mansion!
There are only 3 STARS members left now. Captain Wesker, Barry, and myself. We don't know where Chris is.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
Hey, Wesker, where's Chris?
Jill, no! You don't want to go back out there.
But we've got to find...
What was that?
Chris?
No.
Jill, go and investigate.
I'm going with her. Chris and I go back a long way.
All right. You two go. I'll secure this area.
Stay sharp. A dining room. I think you'd better take a look at this.
What is it?
Blood. Jill, see if you can find any other clues. I'll be examining this. Let's just hope it's not Chris's.
Barry!
What is it?
Look out! It's a monster!
Let me take care of it! What the hell is this thing?
I found Kenneth killed by this thing. Let's report this to Wesker.
Wesker! Jill, help me look for him. Let's not leave this hall.
Good idea. Barry.
Any luck, Jill?
No, nothing. What's going on around here? I can't figure it out.
Same here.
Chris, and now Wesker.
There's not much we can do. We can search for him separately. I'll investigate the dining room again.
Okay, then. I'll try the door on the other side.
This mansion is gigantic. We could easily get lost. Let's start from the first floor.
Okay.
Oh! I almost forgot. It's a lockpick. You'd make better use of it.
Thanks. I may need it.
Listen, if something happens, let's meet up in this hall. Got it?
Okay.
Alright, so like I said, we're gonna roll with the Samurai Edge and try to get through this as quickly as possible, because I'm including the cut scenes, and that really runs the game time up with the cut scenes in there. I'd like to get the game time under 3 hours, but we'll see. Fun fact, this is actually the original Resident Evil was actually supposed to be a first-person shooter, and they decided against it. Decided to go with the fixed camera angles, so that as you're going to the next area to area, you won't necessarily see an enemy ahead of you. So it just kind of adds to the I guess to the fear, the suspense, you know, the unknown, you know, what's around the next corner kind of deal. I'm gonna try to just run past as many zombies as I can, but you know, it's a Resident Evil game, so these games typically have a perpetual difficulty modifier that the better you do, meaning the less you're you know, bit by a zombie or whatever, the harder the game becomes. I feel like they did a really good job on this version. You know, I'm not going to worry about the gem, because all that's going to get me is some more ammo for I think it gives you either some Magnum or some shotgun ammo and a Mo disc. And I don't plan on rescuing anybody in this game. This is just gonna be a quick and dirty playthrough. But typically, if I want to do a complete you know, complete playthrough, I would save what's the guy that gets bit by the snake? Richard, that's his name. So I would typically save Richard, and then I would save Barry, and I'd save Chris to do like a complete, you know, save all the main character kind of playthrough, all the supporting characters and whatnot, but not worried about that this time around. Because once I knock this playthrough out, I'll be playing the Resident Evil 2 remake, which is going to be a whole lot more fun. This game's classic though. Been playing Resident Evil ever since it came out. If you check some of my previous videos, you know, I give you a little history of how my history with Resident Evil and how it all began with me. But long story short, I had a best friend back in Jersey that let me borrow the game for the PS1. This Resident Evil Director's Cut. So ever since then, I've just been I played pretty much every Resident Evil game. The only one I haven't played is Resident Evil Gaiden, which, as I said in my previous videos, that really wasn't a Resident Evil game. I like to examine the keys when I get them. Don't ask me why, I just like to do that. It's not like I'm extremely organized, but I don't know, I like them to say sword key in my inventory and whatnot. Or whatever the key is. Try to grab as many defense items as I can. They actually almost came out with Resident Evil on the Game Boy. I was hoping I'd be able to keep that defense item and just kill him with the Samurai Edge, but I guess it just wasn't enough for that zombie. think there's a maybe a defense item or a clip over here somewhere. Yep, we got a defense item. So if I move the other shelf over here, this one is movable. There's a clip under there, but I won't be bothered about that. Since we're over here, I'm gonna go ahead and run and get the chemical. So we'll need that to move on to the game. I'm trying to just recall what all items that I really need to absolutely have to move on to progress in the game. I don't really want that. I'll go ahead and get this red herb. As soon as I get a chance, I'm gonna dump off that that Beretta. Another cutscene coming up here. I want you guys to see. This game remained very true to the original Resident Evil. If you ever get a chance to play that, definitely give it a try. So yeah, the original Resident Evil, basically the similar scene occurred in the bathroom there. A lot of iconic scenes from the original Resident Evil. But I was saying, yeah, if you get a chance to play the original Resident Evil for the PS1, you know, definitely go for it. I think there's a defense item in here. I played Resident Evil, all the Resident Evils from the original PS1, 1, 2, and 3 to this day. I just purchased 4, 5, and 6. I mean, I already had them, but I purchased them off of Steam. I already had them for like for, you know, console gaming and whatnot. But anyway, Steam had a sale. You see, I'm not worried about the shotgun. I know I can go ahead and get it here, but like I said, I'm just gonna roll with the Samurai Edge. And since I'm not saving anyone, I don't expect to have a hard fight with the Tyrant. The only time you get into a hard fight with the Tyrant is when you're going for you know, saving your comrades. The original Resident Evil was actually it nearly came out for the GameCube. I'm sorry, not the GameCube, the Game Boy. I'm not sure why that deal actually fell through. I better keep a health item just in case there. No, actually I'm gonna pick up some more health pretty soon. Roll. I'm not gonna worry about burning up any zombies. There's a room outside here that I need to get the whistle from, so I'll need that to get the imitation key. By the time this video comes out, April 1st, the Steam sale for Resident Evil games will probably be over, not unless they continue it for some reason or another. But like I was saying, I was able to get 4, 5, and 6 for it was $14.99 on a sale that they're running right now. And I picked up this Resident Evil plus Resident Evil 0 for $9.99. And it came with, like, you know, different add-ons and whatnot. I don't think it came with like all the add-ons. There's a headshot. I don't think it came with all the add-ons, but yeah, I mean, it came with some freebies. Alright, I need to go blow the whistle. I might see Barry outside of here, I'm not sure. Nope. I think I would have saw him if I think I'll get the grenade launcher. Anyway, I think I would have saw him if I entered the mansion a different way. If I didn't like go to that side of the mansion where he was at the beginning of the game, I believe I would have saw him, and then he would have gave me like some acid rounds. Okay, actually I need to go into another door outside of here. If you guys ever played Resident Evil, or you know, or into the lore and everything like that, you know that it used to be called, not used to be called, it still is called Biohazard in I think it's Japan or something. I thought that would have took him down. Samurai Edge is not very powerful, but that rapid fire is pretty good to have. I feel like it fires like just as fast or around as fast as the Matilda from Resident Evil 2 remake. I could unlock that door over here while I'm out here. I might as well. Take a few extra seconds to do so. I don't know if I'm going to be taking this path later in the game, but I like to have the option to if I do. You got the health out here, so these green herbs that they got sitting out here replenish your full health at least a couple times. So anyway, I thought it was cool that I always knew Resident Evil was also called Biohazard, like in Japan and everything, they call it Biohazard. But I thought it was cool that when you get Resident Evil from Steam, it says Biohazard as well. Even though, you know, I'm clearly running the US version on Steam. By the way, my PC specs, Ryzen 5 3600, I'm running 16 gigs of RAM. Actually, I keep my specs in the video description, but I kind of like to say it in the video too, so everybody doesn't read the description. And also you can see my performance metrics in the top left there. This game doesn't scale up to 144 hertz, which is typically the highest frame rate that I'll run a game at. It just runs a locked. Lock 60 is about the best you can get. I haven't explored any hacks of this game, but I'm heavy into game modding and console modding, so maybe I'll look something like that up. I know there are some cool apps that you can get, like, you know, maybe it would be cool to have a playtime app that will show my playtime in real time for games like this. Of course, in Resident Evil 2, the remake, it's one of the games that finally has playtime built into it. I don't remember if any other Resident Evil games have playtime built into them. While I'm over here, I'm gonna grab a defense item out of here. I think there's going to be a battery that we can use as a defense item. The only other thing is here is the broken shotgun, some fuel, and I believe an ink ribbon. Don't want any of those items, so keep it moving. And I think in a certain mode, there's a defense item on that table that I just kind of scanned. Since I'm still carrying that chemical, I'm gonna go ahead and throw that in here. I actually had other characters planned for this original for the original Resident Evil when it first came out. I don't recall off the top of my head if they had names or anything like that, but of course they just decided on Chris Redfield and Jill Valentine, and you know, the rest is history. I think they did a pretty good job with the characters that they had. I'm not going to go in either one of those rooms. I just don't need a Mo disc, and I just don't need any rounds. And the only thing to see, honestly, the only thing to see back in that room. Do I have the lighter? Yeah, I do have the lighter. Okay. The only thing to see in that room is like a quick cut scene where a zombie pops out of a closet. It's hardly a cut scene. I mean, it's just it's really more of a jump scare than anything. So if it was a substantial, you know, cut scene, then yeah, would have showed you guys that. But for the sake of time, you know, I'm just gonna keep it moving. Since I have these keys, I think I can actually go and fight Yawn now if I'd like to. Could also get the grenade launcher, which I probably should go ahead and get that and use that against Yawn. Because I don't want to rely on the Samurai Edge to get the job done. I should also mention I'm using an Xbox One controller.
Jill, don't scare me.
Speak for yourself, Barry. What are you doing here?
Yeah, well, I think you should take a look at this. I warn you, though, it's not pretty. It's forest.
What could have done this to him?
God only knows, but I'm gonna find out what did this to him. Jill, could you investigate other areas?
Yeah, sure.
Jill, this is no longer useful, the forest. We don't know what's going to happen. Take it with you.
I sure will.
I still can't believe it.
So this cutscene wouldn't have happened if I would have seen Barry when I came out the door on the second floor. Didn't know if there was an herb back there. But since I explored the side of the mansion that he went to first, that kind of triggers this whole alternate chain of events here. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and fight you on now. I don't know if it'll let me go through this door without saving Richard.
Richard! What happened? You're wounded.
This whole place is a killing zone. There are monsters.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
Bring me serum. I saw some, but didn't bring any.
I'll go and get it, okay? You're gonna make it.
Thanks.
See if it'll let me go back in there and get past him. To at least get the music notes. Cause like I said, I'm not. Nope, it won't let me do it. Alright, while I'm up here, I might as well go get maybe a mask or two. While I'm waiting for the time to expire on how long you have to save Richard, I can run around and get a couple things done. Let's see. The puzzles in this game are a lot easier than Resident Evil 2, especially the Resident Evil 2 remake. The Resident Evil 2 remake has, it has a bunch of puzzles, and as you're playing the different scenarios, the puzzles vary some. So when I do my playthrough of that, I'm going to be heavily reliant on my old Resident Evil 2 speed run notes. I I'm not going to attempt to speed run because I mean it's been just way too long. It's going to be casual, just like this one here. Nice. So I should be able to get another mask by solving a puzzle downstairs here. All right, nice. So I'm probably about to get bit because I'm having to change the batteries on my controller. Perfect timing. Okay, defense item was auto. I didn't expect that. I did not expect the defense item to be auto. I'm glad I picked up as many, a bunch of defense items. I'm gonna run in here and throw some stuff in the item chest. Xbox One controller with your trusty AA batteries. I have rechargeable AA batteries, but you know, they're AA batteries nonetheless. Yeah, I think I'm gonna hold on to. Now, actually, before I fight Yawn, there's a health item right outside, so I'm gonna get rid of that health item as well. I don't expect to need very many health items. And I'm just foregoing the shotgun altogether in this run. Try to get as much done with the samurai edge as I can. So I think he's supposed to be orange bracelet. I think this one's supposed to be purple. So the purple crown. Let me look at this picture. Okay, it's green crown, orange bracelet. The necklace is purple. Alright, so that crown's green. And purple, so that should be it right there. I'm using the new control scheme, so instead of doing the tank controls, basically. I feel like that possibly may have been enough time for me to go back and do the sequence with Richard here. Being that I didn't save him, he's not going to help me. Obviously, in the fight against Yawn. Go ahead and bank this this mask. So what does that give me? I think that gives me 3 masks. Yeah. And then Yawn will give me the 4th. And then we'll go ahead and head out of here. Should probably go ahead and unlock as many doors as I can just to get rid of these keys, or I'll just bank them either or, we'll see. Because honestly, I really don't need to go to this door upstairs on the left here, but just use the key. There's some health items in there, and if I wanted to get the Magnum, I would need to get a piece from there in order to get the Magnum. See if it'll let me go back here yet. If not, I'm going to use some more keys. I think I gave it enough time. All I really want out of here is the music notes. If you ever played the original Resident Evil, you'll know about like the Moonlight Sonata on the piano. That scene. That's a cutscene that I'll let play. Typically, I would kind of dance around in here. I think that other zombie come out. This guy here, I'd make him come out and kind of dance him around the table here. Then I'd hop in there and grab the music notes. But you can do it with both of the zombies. Come on. I had a lot of like strange ideas for the original Resident Evil. I mean, not necessarily strange. I mean, they would have just changed the game a lot compared to what the end product ended up being. Like they originally wanted to make it a multiplayer game. Hope I didn't just trap myself here. Yep. Oh, that was close. Yeah, they originally wanted to be multiplayer, like 2-player co-op kind of deal. Hence the two main protagonists being, Jill and Chris. I guess I'm glad they didn't go that direction, because I mean that would have changed the game tremendously. Okay. It's one thing about the new control scheme. Once the camera angle changes, it can get a little wonky. Gonna need to get this. And kind of full on slots. But let's see, I think I have a couple doors down here to unlock that should free up a slot. Should be able to discard one or two of these keys. Alright, there's one. I think the other one's down here. And there's a defense item down here too that I might want to get. There's also a shortcut scene that will trigger. Let's take a look at that. So there's a knife like down here, I believe. Well, maybe not. I thought there would be a defense item down here. Am I just missing it? That's interesting. one of the unlockables you have for costumes in here is you get the Resident Evil 3 Jill costume, and it really did a good job with it, you know, updating the graphics on it and whatnot. If you play the Resident Evil 3 demo, which I'm sure is going to carry over to the finished product for Resident Evil 3 Remake, you can actually run a mod where you'll have that costume. There's a bunch of mods with different costumes on that. I made a video showcasing some of the mods, at least the ones that were out, you know, to the date when that video released. And it's pretty amazing how quickly you know, the mods actually came out for that game. Even enemy mods and different trainers that have been designed for that game. So like with the enemy mods for the Resident Evil demo, Resident Evil 3 demo, you can actually play a mode where you play as every enemy is Nemesis. A really intense mod. I had a lot of fun playing that. I died several times. But it was fun, you know, nothing frustrating about it. It was extremely fun, extremely challenging. And I did make it through after several attempts continues. I think that video might be maybe 15 to 20 minutes long. This puzzle is about the same, and the room that we're in is about the same as far as how you solve it. But this is the actual hint on how to solve this puzzle I'm about to do here. So now we go and fight Yawn. I got a few grenade rounds. Now if I had the acid rounds, if I would have triggered Barry to give me the acid rounds, that definitely would have made this an easier battle. That and saving Richard makes the battle easier. But yeah, we'll see what we can do. I'm gonna be running with limited health tier 2 because I'm just gonna grab these 2 green herbs. Actually there's just one. I already grabbed one of them already. Did I get that zombie? No, he's still there. So this boss is called Yawn, and it's just because it's a snake that opens his mouth really wide. We're gonna switch to the grenade rounds, grenade launcher here. poisoned? Yep, poisoned. One more grenade round. I think that's it for him. Yep, so he took 6 of my grenade rounds to take him down. But he did bite me, so I'm gonna have to get the serum. And I could have avoided being bitten, but he kind of had me cornered.
Poisoned. Serum.
Huh, another chain of events that changes. Barry's gonna save me.
Barry? Barry?
So it's cool that like a lot of things change just by when you see Barry next after seeing him in the main hall. The other scenario that could have happened is she would get poisoned, and you would actually have to go get serum, which the serum is in this room that she just woke up in. Let's see, I think I'm good with that there. I feel like I need to have a health item or two though, because I forgot I'm going to be fighting like the granddaddy of all Crimson Heads. So I might need a health item or two just in case it gets a little bit out of control here. I think at least a couple. But usually you can kind of dance around him, make him lunge at you and miss. And let's see, which way do I want to go to get to him? Yeah, I can go this way. There's a few zombies in the way. Usually have no problem getting behind that one. That guy's going to get up any moment, but I'll be out of the mansion by the time he gets up. And of course, if you haven't saw or played, if you haven't seen or played this game before, the zombies, unless you blow their head off, literally off, they get back up eventually and turn into Crimson Heads, which are very fast, very strong zombies. So they just evolve, and that's kind of what the T-virus does. A lot of different viruses in the Resident Evil series. Resident Evil 1 is all about the T-virus. And then they just kept using letters, and eventually they use whole other names and following Resident Evils. What am I doing? What the eyes should be, okay. I never remember the order of these, so I always have to read first. At least the first three. I don't really remember the order. Looks like the nose one. Yes, the nose one. Position. About to say I need to make him miss again. The 3 shots on this gun isn't really helping me that much. But we got defense items. I don't think he's dead. Nope. Made him miss. Now is he dead? I think he's dead now. Alright, not bad. Yellow caution. So I'm gonna need this to get out. I guess the back door to the mansion. Don't need that. Is that the same? Yeah. Well, she really reached for that one early. So the only scene that's kind of iconic that I didn't show you guys was the Jill sandwich scene. Basically in that room where the shotgun was hanging up. If I would have grabbed the shotgun and go to exit out of the room, Jill wouldn't be able to open the doors to exit, and then she wouldn't be able to open the door to get back into the room that she grabbed the shotgun from. And it's basically a death trap. The ceiling will start to come down, and if you do it at the right part of the game, Barry will come save you if you do it at the beginning of the game, basically. Let's see what I got. I still got 2 health items. Yeah, I'm good. So we didn't do the Jill sandwich scene. But you could, if you haven't seen it before, you know, YouTube, you can pretty much watch all of the Resident Evil cutscenes and so many different compilations on YouTube. I think there's a defense item and health spray. Of course, I'm not getting the shotty shells because I never got the shotgun. Very easy to get the shotgun with Jill, though. Trying to hit west. We got a cutscene coming up here, I believe. Maybe not. I think thought it would have happened already. Yeah. So that's another thing that changed. There would be a cutscene where you hear what's his name, Brad Vickers will call you on the radio looking for you know, looking for anybody that's surviving. It'll happen in other parts of this game, though. Really love what they did with the background work in this area here. Very creepy. If more of the game would have been like that, that would be awesome. Maybe now that Capcom knows what people want when it comes to survival horror, maybe they'll make it happen with some kind of new Resident Evil. Put some of these health items away. Don't need all this. There was a while Capcom was really lost. You know, they were more action oriented because, you know, that's what was selling. But the genre that they created, they definitely shouldn't have abandoned it. The genre being survival horror, you know, in my opinion, they created survival horror. Now there were other games that that predate Resident Evil, but you know, they just didn't necessarily do it right. Guy. I played a game maybe a few years ago that I'd never even heard of. I was getting into Sega Saturn emulation. I believe it was Saturn. I don't think it was a Dreamcast. Yeah, Sega Saturn emulation. A game called Deep Fear. If you like the old school, like tank controls kind of games, you know, Resident Evil with the tank controls and those types of games. There were a bunch of games around that time that had, you know, the tank controls. Deep Fear for the Sega Saturn. Definitely give that one a go. That's just another retro game that I really enjoyed. Basically, you're in a sub underwater for pretty much most of the game, and your comrades are all turning into creatures. It's been a while since I played it, so I don't remember the entire plot, but oh crap. I got the crank? Yeah, I got the crank. But yeah, look at Deep Fear for a Sega Saturn. If you like those old school games, you will not be disappointed. And it's I think it was best emulated on Boost. So if you don't have the original hardware and can't find the game, you can emulate it on Boost. since the game is abandonware, you know, I don't have anything against folks that emulate abandonware. You know, meaning the console is no longer being manufactured and the games are no longer being distributed. New copies aren't being made, so the only way you can play some of these classic games are really through emulating it and playing them on ROMs. Deep Fear was kind of a hard game to get through if you don't know exactly like where to go or what to do. So looking into like a walkthrough, I definitely recommend that, and you'll have a lot of fun with the game. Probably grab a blue herb. We'll go ahead and push this box while I'm over here. This room coming up, there are a bunch of key items in here that I want to grab. So, you know, if you haven't played the original Resident Evil, you might not know. I'm pushing that there because there's a crack in the floor that you can't walk over. If you walk over it, Jill gets strangled. It doesn't kill you, but, you know, it takes some health. Or has the potential to, you know, take some health. If he spits, maybe I can... see, that's... Okay, he didn't poison me. Okay, still not poisoned. I was going to leave him alone, but I figured when he spit that I might be able to get a few quick shots off at him. But yeah, not quick enough or not powerful enough. That's all I want out of here. So I'm not going to mix the V-Jolt. The V-Jolt is used to kill Plant 42, which is the plant that I just mentioned will strangle Jill when she walks over that little crack. I feel like in this first aid box that there's a blue herb in here already, but let me check. No, looks like just green. Oh, this is blue and red. Okay, yeah, blue and green. Should probably use that. No, I don't need that right now, actually. More so just need a green herb. And I think that's all I need out of here. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and climb up these. I'm going to climb up these boxes. If you guys ever played Devil May Cry, that was like originally Resident Evil.
That wasn't part of our deal. But it's not necessary to destroy stars. What about my family?
go in here and see this cutscene here.
Jill!
Barry, I heard someone talking.
Oh, you heard. I think age is starting to take its toll. Talking to myself is becoming a bad habit.
Talking to yourself? You all right? What's gotten into you?
I'm getting you worried, aren't I? But don't, I'm alright. I guess this creepy mansion has gotten to my nerves. Anyway, I think I'll go outside, get some fresh air for a change. Don't worry, I'm just going to get some fresh air. If I'm lucky, I'll get to waste some monsters along the way.
Alright, so I think there might be something in this room. Oh, there's a key right over here. So this is probably room 1. Yeah, room 1. Which in room 1, I think there's only one key item, but I really want to get out of there. Maybe it's the power room key or control room key, I think they call it. It's some really creepy backgrounds in Resident Evil. The original Resident Evil, when the developers made that game, they based the backgrounds off of actual mansions that just kind of creeped out the developers. You know, that's what they were looking for, a mansion that looked creepy. They sampled some, and that's what they found. So I don't know exactly like what mansions or anything like that, but it's pretty cool. So I wonder if there's a place in some mansion for every room in Resident Evil. I wonder. That'd be a good question to ask, like the one of the devs or creators of the series. All right, so I got the book, got the key. There's going to be some items that I'll need to have space for, so I think I'm good for now. Between this Resident Evil outfit and Jill's Resident Evil 3 casual outfit, her skirt in Resident Evil 3, I feel like those are probably the most iconic Jill outfits. It seems like every Resident Evil game that has Jill in it will have one of those two outfits in it. Thought about just going back and playing the classic PS1 version of Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3, but I mean, I play those already. I play those to this day. I emulate those on my tablet, emulate those on my computer. I own them for the PS3 because I have a fat PS3 that is backwards compatible. and I have that one modded to play PS1, PS2, and PS3 games from the hard drive. So I mean, I still play those games to this day, faithfully. Once I'm done exploring whatever the Resident Evil 3 remake brings, I'll go back to playing those games. Got this guy over here. So anyway, I was like, well, they're coming out with a remake for Resident Evil 3. Why not just release remakes? Why not just do playthroughs of Resident Evils that they remade? So Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3 is what I'm doing. And I don't think they really need to remake this one. Make it more, modernize it and everything. I don't think it's necessary. I mean, they did a really good job on this one. It still holds up. The fixed camera angles, that was the thing to do. They were trying to get as close to the original as possible, and they really nailed it. Go to the other control panel first. Yeah.
Emergency. Unknown source of pressure detected. Locking all doors to achieve maximum safety.
So I could have read the note over there to tell me which valve to press to release
Reaching
the
30% of pressure threshold.
But I mean, just pick one, Three choices.
Reaching 50% of pressure
The
threshold.
next one. You really got plenty of time to
Activate emergency drainage
do
system
this whole
immediately.
sequence. Release the safety again.
Reaching 70% of pressure threshold.
Shut the doors. So I know there's a few items down here that I want to grab. In an alternate chain of events, you will actually see Richard. I don't think there's anyone back there. You'll actually see Richard try to save you from a shark instead of trying to save you from a giant snake. So I mean, they got a lot of alternate scenarios that'll trigger by one action or another, and that kind of carried over to Resident Evil 2 a bit. And I don't think I'm gonna pull that yet. And the original Resident Evil 3 got carried over a lot. There's a lot of different things that would affect the outcome. I feel like they didn't do that as much At least that's what the devs are saying about the new Resident Evil 3 remake. You don't have the I think they call them quick time choices, where you choose one of two choices, and that choice would show you a different scene, and could ultimately affect the outcome of the game in some way or another, how things will play out. Items were rearranged, certain scenes were rearranged. I think there's a Magnum ammo. Yeah, I don't care about that. Not for this playthrough. I think it's kind of a shame that they don't have those quick time scenes, those choices. But you know, who knows? Maybe some DLC will happen. I'm also wondering like what the unlockables are going to be. So the Gatling gun is in Resident Evil 2 remake. They call it the minigun, and there's a rocket launcher in Resident Evil 2 remake as well. We already know there's a machine gun in Resident Evil 3 remake, just based on the demo. Just based on the demo, you can see you get a machine gun. So we know that's carrying over. But I'm sure they're going to have a few other unlockables. Now, if they do the Samurai Edge, the Samurai Edge wasn't, at least not initially. No, the Samurai Edge wasn't in Resident Evil 3, the original. That was always a Resident Evil 1 gun. I don't know if you got it in Resident Evil 2. I don't think you did. I think that was more of a Resident Evil 1 thing. So if they don't have that, that's fine. But you know, I kind of expect the machine gun and the Gatling gun and the rocket launcher, and you know, it'd be cool to see them, you know, give us something else. Like, I don't know. In the latest trailer they showed Nemesis with a rocket launcher. The rocket launcher had like a cool like laser on it. And I'm not even sure if it was a rocket launcher. Like, it could have been, I don't know, some kind of laser projectile weapon or some kind of futuristic thing. But yeah, it'd be cool to see what they do. Maybe they'll switch it up and give you, like, I don't know, maybe a gun that was it would be cool to see a gun that was made for like the Dino Crisis series. If you never played Dino Crisis, check it out. That's another one of those games that are survival horror that is that has the tank controls. The first one had a whole lot of puzzles and not as many dinosaurs, but a very solid story nonetheless. And the second one was very action oriented and also had a solid story. You play as Dylan in the second one, or Regina. Those are the main protagonists, and actually Regina was from the first Dino Crisis. Just kind of carried over. Alright, so we're getting ready to play against this plant. I don't have any special items. I don't have any special items to beat this guy, but see if I can get it done with this gun. I don't have a whole lot of health either. Gotta watch my health. Let's see where I'm at now. Alright, she's at a red caution. Okay, what am I looking like? Okay. Let me hop over here. Come on, man. 5 flame rounds. This should be a much quicker battle. There we go. But yeah, like I was saying, the flame rounds will actually get rid of him a lot quicker. I think it only takes maybe 4. Yeah, maybe 4 shots. And he's out of there. So yeah, we did all this to get this key here. This is the helmet key. Yeah. So the helmet key, I'm going to take this one back to the mansion. And also in an alternate scenario with Jill, Barry will walk in with a flamethrower, and he will torch Plant 42 for you.
Wesker!
Jill, so you're safe.
That's what I was going to say.
I apologize. It was all I could do to protect myself against those strange creatures.
I understand. Anyway, it's good that you're safe.
Did you notice? Barry, he sounded a little flaky.
Now that you mention it, yeah. I'll keep a close eye.
Maybe it's quite natural under these circumstances. It's not really our standard operation. Jill, our first priority is to get out of here.
I agree.
There are still rooms in that mansion we can't get into because they're locked up. I've been looking for ways to...
Okay, if there's anything, I'll go back to the other mansion.
I'm counting on you.
Alright, quick little cutscene there. So a lot of people don't know, I guess you would if you bought the Sega Saturn, but the Sega Saturn had Resident Evil as well, but the graphics are, let's just say, subpar when you compare it to the PS1, especially the character models. If you look at a side by side of them, they look rough compared to what the PlayStation was able to pull off with their graphics. Let's see, so there's gonna be some hunters up here, so let me grab, we got a first aid spray, at least one first aid spray. I'm not gonna engage with them as much as I can, really. As much as possible, I'm just gonna run. The good thing about it, unless they swipe at me, and I got enough defense items where I should be able to get through all the rest of the hunters that are coming up. And there are quite a few, I don't know, maybe half a dozen at least. I think we got a cutscene coming up here too. It'll be a quick one. I wonder. Being that I didn't save, so the cutscene didn't happen. So being that I didn't save Richard, maybe that's why I'm not getting the cutscenes for Brad being in the chopper. That might be because we didn't see the cutscene for Brad calling you from the chopper. Oh yeah, okay, nope, that's exactly why, because Brad will give you the radio. He actually gives you a radio when you save him, when you give him the serum for the poison, he'll give you a radio. So she doesn't even have the radio. Let me look in the inventory. Yeah, normally in the inventory you would see like that you have a radio. I think it's like up at the top somewhere or something. But yeah, she didn't have it. So that makes sense. Okay. You won't see those cutscenes. But basically what happens with the radio is, yeah, just like I said, Brad Vickers, the pilot, he'll call you. He'll call looking for STARS members to see if there are any survivors, basically. And since I don't have the radio, that's not happening. Jeez. He really gnaws the hell out of her hand, doesn't he? Alright, so that took me to a red caution. Let's go ahead and get rid of some of these guys. Is that it? I guess I gave it enough distance from him. I think there's a herb over here, maybe not. Yeah, you know what? I'm thinking of a different Resident Evil. This reminds me of a scene from Resident Evil 2. When you go down to the basement, you encounter some dogs. Oh, another defense item. Yeah, Resident Evil 2, if you go down to the basement, you encounter some dogs, and there's a red herb down there, and it just looks similar to that scene.
Huh? What's a STARS radio doing here? Let's hope the thing still works.
Oh, this is so cool. I'm experiencing the game in ways that that I haven't in a long time, and it's all just because I didn't save Richard. See, she just picked up that radio, so she'll have it later in the game. I'm just gonna run from him. Yeah, I think that's so cool. How just from not saving Richard affected so much. Got the club key. I really want to use that. Now, if I get caught by that, that's an instant kill. And I don't plan on getting caught by that. He's gonna chase me all around, isn't he? I better get some more health items. This is the part where I would think the shotty would come in handy, but I might have to just engage them with the handgun, you know, with the samurai edge. But I'm gonna grab a few health items because this could get tricky. What we got here? I guess if I have an excuse to be in the room with the broken shotgun. Yeah, this could definitely get tricky. Alright, what's my health looking like? Danger. Alright, go to sleep. Go to sleep. Yeah, it definitely got tricky there. If I have a chance to, maybe I'll grab the broken shotgun just to get the shot, just so I have the shotty. Make life a little easier on myself, but Samurai Edge don't fail me now. I won't have to directly encounter, or I won't be in an area where there's so much of a choke point against those flickers. Not anytime soon, anyway. What I call them, lickers. They're actually called hunters. There aren't any lickers in this game. That's a Resident Evil 2 thing. See if I can get this done with the Xbox One controller. It definitely doesn't help in this part. And the camera switches doesn't help either. I think she's got it. What's over here? Nothing. Alright, so this book right here, I'm going to go ahead and open it. There should be, I don't know, either a wolf or an eagle medal in here. It's an eagle medal. So down here we need to turn the elevator back on. There are shoddy shells back in the corner there that I'm not going to get. Should be a red herb here too. There's the defense item sitting there. Wait for this guy to get around the corner. Alright, so now that's back on. We can get upstairs, take the elevator, and grab a few more items that we'll need to get on to the next level here. And say goodbye to the mansion. Nice. The headshot. I like how whatever defense item you have, you know, it'll be attached to your, you know, it'll be on your person, you know what I mean? Like you see the knife on the side there. Zombie here, yeah. Let's see if I got enough room for these items. There's some grenade rounds in here. Nope, shoddy and magnum. Two weapons that I don't have. He's over there. Okay, I'm out of here. No point to come back to that area. Okay, so I think I want to go ahead. I could go ahead and fight Yawn now since I have the helmet key, and I have enough health to do so. At least I think. But I kind of want to go another way to get to him. Do a health check here. So in this room you get a defense item and like 2 other items, like 2 gems, maybe some ammo too. Don't need that. Thinking, do I even need the gems that are in here? So the yellow gem, yeah, I need this. I need the Spencer key. So I need the red gem. Let me turn these lights off. Okay. So I need that gem right there. The yellow gem, that's just gonna give me like a Mo disc or something like that, or magnum ammo, something along that lines. I don't remember which one. That thing is in my way. Alright, that should be good. Now I believe I need to head like downstairs to use that red gem and the box that you find in the room. But do I want to fight Yawn first? Dump some items off before I do anything anyway, so let me go ahead and do that. Maybe I'll grab I kind of feel like I should hold on to that red gem. I do want to go ahead and get the Yawn battle over with. Rather deal with him than the Crimson Head. Should probably go get that green herb out there, but there'll be 2 more herbs coming up in this room, so I think I'll be good on health to fight Yawn. items rearranged. Usually like 2 herbs by the windows as you first walk into here. I didn't see them, maybe I overlooked them. Alright. Probably gonna get bit. Trying to dance around a little bit. Nice. He really is a pushover. Maybe that's another reason why he's called Yawn. I don't know. But you know, if you don't move around enough with him, or get stuck in between him, his whole body and everything like that, where you kind of get pinned, he doesn't actually wrap you up like, you know, Anaconda style or anything like that. But even though you would think he would, because he is a snake, right? So yeah, usually there'll be green herbs right here as you first walk in the room, but they're not there. But yeah, that's the last we're going to see of him. Let's see. So this will be the other. I guess this is the wolf metal. Yeah. All right. So there's one more room. No, 2 more rooms that we need to go to. So the helmet key. I need to use that on the first floor. And there's a puzzle I need to solve to get the I think the Spencer family key or whatever it's called. Alright, so I should probably go down this way. Now this path is going to be a hunter in the way, but he's not really that much in the way. Should be able to get around him fairly easy. So no hunter. But we got that guy right there, the Crimson Head. You can tell he's gonna be a Crimson Head because look at his nails right there. So as soon as I walk past him, you know, he'll jump up. Good. I just remembered I'm not getting any Magnum ammo, but I kind of should be. Not really. I'm not going to use it that much. I mean, I will get a Magnum from Barry. Because I'm not going to save him in this playthrough, so I'll get his Magnum. So where I had the opportunity to pick up some Magnum rounds, it would be kind of, I don't know, a nice 2 thing, but it's all good. I don't really need it to beat the game. Alright, so this puzzle sometimes annoys me. Because if you don't get these pieces in here just right, you end up having to adjust and readjust, and just be a pain. Hope that's good enough for that piece. I don't like that gap. It's not looking that great. I think I need to move this piece down or something. See what that does. Alright, that was less frustrating than I've had experience with that in the past. Not too bad. So we got the Spencer family key. We're going to need that to get a piece. I think it's the stone object or something like that. I think that's literally what it's called, is the stone object. To get there, we're going to take this little shortcut, because if we go basically to that other door on the same side of the mansion that we came from, then I'll have to encounter some hunters. I'd rather just take a bit of a safer route. If you ever played the original Resident Evil, I believe it holds a world record for worst game dialogue, worst dialogue in a game. I mean, it's really bad. Like the voice acting is notoriously bad, but it's so bad that it's good. It's like, it's comical. It's still enjoyable, you know. Let's see. I think there's shoddy shells in here. Yeah, I don't want those. Yeah, so there's the metal. Okay, metal object. I thought it was stone object. So the stone object goes around the metal object. So we got that. I think that's all I want from this room. And we got the battery, so I really want to go ahead and get the crank. And I don't know, I may have to confront that hunter on the way out. We'll see. Sit those two together. And guy can go there. And don't need as many health items. I'm gonna hold on to a blue herb just in case. I don't know, maybe I get bit by a snake and poisoned or something, who knows. 9 defense items, doing really good on defense items. The original Resident Evil was a huge success. I don't think they thought it was going to have as much success as it did. Nice, that was a nice juke I did there. That worked out well. I think he'll still be in this hallway when I return the last time. to fight Lisa Trevor. But we'll see.
Jill to Brad, can you hear me? Shit, it's broken.
Oh, there it is. That was the radio scene that I was talking about. The next radio scene probably doesn't happen towards towards the end of the game. Hoping I can go ahead and beat this game in under 3 hours to unlock the rocket launcher. My first playthrough, I got the Samurai Edge, but it was, it was a casual playthrough, so I beat it in like 3.5 hours. But you can really easily beat this game in between 2.5 hours if you're really moving. Especially with like a special weapon bonus. It's really the item management that takes up so much time in these Resident Evil games. And not just the item management, but like if you attempt to obtain all of the items in the game, that's time consuming. Because it's not like, oh, just go to every room and you'll get every item. No, you kind of have to go to every room, sometimes more than once, to get key items that'll work for a room that you've already been in before. Just typical Resident Evil stuff, man. You do a lot of backtracking. But I love it. I love the gameplay. This game, even though it's on hard difficulty, it's easy to kill every single enemy. But again, that's another thing that's time consuming. So what I typically do, my first playthrough will be extremely casual, because you'll pretty much get the Samurai Edge super easy. Then I'll roll with the Samurai Edge on my second playthrough. Beat it in less than 3 hours, get the rocket launcher, have a blast with that. Let's see what I got here. I don't think there's a whole lot of items I need to pick up back here, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep it moving. I think we're gonna talk to Enrico. I always want to call him Enrique, but I believe his name's Enrico. And if you play Resident Evil 0, you might recall this character.
Is that you, Jill?
Is that voice Enrico's?
Yeah?
You're alive!
Stop! Are you with anybody, Jill?
No, but why?
The stars are finished. Someone is a traitor. Umbrella set us up.
Enrico! Traitor? Who?
See, in Resident Evil 0, Enrico hops through the window of the train, and he has a message for Rebecca. So I believe he's a member of Alpha Team, Star's Alpha Team. Jill's a member of Star's Bravo Team. Rebecca was a member of Star's Alpha Team as well. Chris was Star's Bravo. And if you've ever played... Wait. Almost forgot about those guys. I was going to say, if you never played Resident Evil, STARS, that acronym stands for Special Tactics and Rescue Squad. And if you're into Resident Evil, like the newer games, you know, you already know with the Resident Evil 3 remake coming out, that Nemesis, you know, has a hard-on for Jill. Well, really has a hard-on for STARS members. He's going after STARS members. You might notice I haven't saved the game at all. That's because typically in Resident Evil games, I don't save the game. You know, of course, the more modern games, they have auto-save and everything, and you can continue. But I like the classic, you know, way of just going through a Resident Evil game with no saves from beginning to end. And if you die, you know, you start completely over. And, you know, I'm cool with that. That adds... That just adds, you know, a little more suspense to the game. Maybe a little anxiety, which is cool. You know, it's supposed to be a bit stressful when you play these types of games. You know, survival horror game. So this is like the granddaddy of all spiders here. And I'm pretty sure... Let me check my health. Yeah, I know he can poison you pretty easily. Alright, what's my health doing? She's on a red caution. He's gone. Alright, so I need the knife over... Is it over here? No, it's the other corner. Alright, leave me alone. Of course not. Oh, you're gonna get it now. Let's see. I want to use the big boy here. I'm surprised I'm not poisoned, but I thought I was hitting them. Seriously? Wow. That is hilarious. I guess that angle is just a bad angle. That was some fixed camera angle magic there. That's another blue herb. I don't need that. Thought I would get poisoned by those spiders in there. Not that I'm disappointed, but if I see, I feel like if I didn't have the blue herb on me, then I would have got poisoned for sure. But being that I had it on me, like, okay, he's prepared. We're not gonna poison him. Oh yeah, that's right. I gotta do this 3 times. Yeah, that boulder, just like the other one, comes at you, but you don't have to run away from it. You can just run straight forward. I think there's an item down here, maybe a health item. Yep. Yeah, just ran straight forward, and when you do that, she'll just run right into this little cut right here. Alright, let's see. This is a pretty easy puzzle, if you can even call it a, you can really call it a puzzle. You guys are watching this, you know, because you played this 100 times or more like me, and just for the nostalgia factor, you know, welcome. I hope you come back for more. Definitely like and subscribe. You know, dislike it if you didn't like it. I have a lot of fun doing these types of videos, you know. You know, they always say when you get into the YouTube thing that you know, just do it because you have fun doing it. That's exactly how I'm approaching it. There's a lot of games that I enjoy that, you know, folks might enjoy hearing my take on it. And honestly, I watch an endless number of videos, you know, based on video games where, you know, I just enjoy them, just hearing someone talk about a game that I have experience in, or talking about a game that I don't have experience in, and it's pretty cool. When I first got into this, I would just kind of upload the videos of raw gameplay footage, you know, no voiceovers. But there's definitely something to be said, and sometimes kind of missing in the gameplay when you don't have like a voiceover going. For the same reason that people, you know, might do a voiceover, in addition they'll overlay themselves playing the game, so you know you can see the reaction and everything like that. Okay, so I don't need the crank anymore, and I feel like I don't need the blue herb, at least not right now. Plenty of item slots. Hopefully Lisa Trevor doesn't give me too hard of a time. I don't think she'll ever grab you where you can use a defense item on her. She'll pretty much try to knock you out. This is really easy because the code is right on the side of the shaft, so you can see it's 4231. Alright, let's pop it in there. I believe we're going to have another cutscene.
Jill!
Barry? Thank God you're safe.
You too, Jill. A noise I heard brought me down here, but I didn't expect to find a place like this. Have any idea as to what might be at the bottom?
There's only one way to find out.
What the hell is that sound? It could be a person. Jill, go check it out. We had enough surprises for one day. I'll stay here and secure our escape route in case something happens.
Okay.
So Lisa Trevor is the daughter of, oh God, look at her. She's the daughter of, God, what's his name? Something Trevor. Maybe it'll come to me in a moment. But anyway, from Resident Evil 0, the leech guy, the really weird, creepy guy that they show. I think there's a defense on him up here. At the beginning of the game, when you're on the train, you know, leeches are kind of coming to him. He's like the Pied Piper of leeches and everything. So he is actually a clone of the original something Trevor that somehow the virus cloned him. Yeah, it's really weird. But, you know, it's a Resident Evil game, so they pretty much will do anything with the story. But, you know, most of the time, it's pretty cool. Let's see if I got enough time to grab at least one of these guys. So I need to head back to Barry at this point. Yeah, it's pretty messed up. So we got to get the flamethrower that we never get to use. Chris's scenario, you get to use a flamethrower though. I do wonder if there's like any kind of hack, any kind of mod where Jill would be able to use the flamethrower. I think that would be cool. I might look into mods for the original Resident Evil, the remake here. I mean, they even have mods for the PlayStation version. Of course, you got to play it on an emulator in order to get the games to boot and everything. But I played. I don't know if you guys probably hardcore fans have heard of Resident Evil 1.5. If you play Resident Evil 2 Remake, you get to have the same outfit that they put on one of the main characters in there. Basically, Resident Evil 1.5, they scrapped the project, and then they came out with a whole nother concept. They came out with Resident Evil 2, the one that we know today. Before they did that, there was a character in there called Elsa Walker. Elsa Walker had the full body suit, motorcycle kind of leather suit going on. That's where Claire gets that suit from in the Resident Evil 2 remake. But if you find a hacked version of 1.5 out there, they've kind of tried to piece it together where you can kind of get through the whole game. So, I mean, it's a very broken game. It was very early in development when they decided that the game was boring and to go in a different direction. But if you get a hold of one of those ROMs, you can play 1.5 and it's pretty interesting. You got different enemies. You got some different enemies in there too, and you can have many more zombies on screen because they lowered the resolution of the character models, including the zombies. So it's pretty interesting, actually. It's definitely worth a try if you're into emulation. If you're into console emulation, that's something you might want to check out. Okay, I'll go ahead and get the ring now. And these guys, maybe I'm gonna need some more health items though, because Lisa Trevor might tear me up. Let's see. Buy some green herbs. I'll get another opportunity to do some item management before confronting Lisa Trevor. Let's see what's in this first aid box. Nice. I think I'll hold on to that. Ah, damn controls. I mean, they're a blessing and a curse, you know. For one thing, you don't have to do the tank controls. But when you're used to the tank controls like I am, I mean, they're really actually quite precise when it comes to these fixed camera angles and keeping you, headed in the right direction. Go around this guy again. All alone in the woods. Really a noticeable difference. The graphics quality playing the PC version of this. Looks really good. was going to emulate this and play this on Dolphin, the GameCube and Wii emulator, and I decided against it. Looking at the video, wanted it to look good for you guys. And you know, it looks fine on, it looks fine on Dolphin, but it doesn't look anywhere near as good as what this is. Alright. So to get to Lisa, I usually cut through. Oh good, he spawned somewhere else. I usually cut through the area, this area right here, and take the gate, so not to have to deal with any of the enemies that I just, you know, kind of bypassed. Finally, we can get out of the mansion after this. I feel like I was saying, inspired by actual mansions, ones that the developers thought were creepy. Okay. Stop by the item chest. Keep it moving. Really, when you get to this point, you know, as long as you have the wolf and the eagle medal, you know, some health, don't get tore up by Lisa, and you'll be all right. And like I said, I'm going to take Barry's Magnum.
Jill, you're alive. I was worried because I thought you were...
Start talking.
Calm down. I didn't want to do it. Believe me, I can explain.
Don't lie to me!
No time to talk. Jill, hand me my gun.
Nope.
I can't do that.
Jill!
Barry!
Alright, hopefully I don't get caught out here. Whoa. Okay, got the quick stun on her. She was gonna jump. Yeah, got your ass down. There's no point in shooting her. that's it for her. The other item is a picture of Barry's family and everything. Alright, let's see if I can knock this out in 20 minutes or so. The main thing in the lab is just getting the elevator going. Well, at least in a run like this, you know, you just get the elevator going and get the hell out of there. I remember this scene playing the GameCube version, having to swap discs, because that was the part where you're on disc 2. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and keep the Magnum. So I think I can get rid of the Tyrant with just unloading the Magnum into him. Way. I don't want these guys to turn into Crimson Heads, so I'm not really trying to finish them off. So there are like clues that will let you know what to do in this room to unlock the cells. I'm not going to go over the clues, but if you playing this for your first time, they're easy to find. But I'll let you know. I just put in John as the password. As a login. And Ada as the password. And in the old Resident Evil, I believe the password here was Mole, but in this Resident Evil, the password is Cell, C-E-L-L. Unlock this one. This one doesn't have a password. Alright, so I feel like there's a defense item in here. Come on. Yeah, there it is. And I think sometimes there are Magnum rounds in this room too. But all I really want to do is hurry up here and get the code put in so I can get the key to the I believe it's called the power room key. So, you know, this is one of the doors I unlocked with hacking the computer and whatnot. No, I don't want a Mo disc. This code, I don't know if it's the same as it was in the original Resident Evil, but if you look at some slides and put some filters on it, it'll show you what that code is. But as you can see, it was 8462. So yeah, now we got this key. We'll head back downstairs and try to get some things done as quickly as possible. When the zombies are on the stairs, all they're going to do is vomit. They won't grab you. So if you're in a situation where you're low on ammo or something like that, you might want to give that a try. If you have, you know, some stairs near you. Unlock these two doors, and that way that key's gone. And so all I want to get right now is the fuel cell. Like I said, the main thing I want to do down here is get the elevator going. Because once I get that chain of events going, I'll be out of here quicker. And try to do everything. So once I put the fuel in this capsule, I have to be real careful not to run. I've goofed that up before and had to restart the entire games because of it. You know, sometimes you're playing Resident Evil and, you know, hey, you might get tired or something and you just forget. Resident Evil can be one of those, what I would call like a slow burn. Surprised I got a headshot from that level. Can be like a slow burn game depending on how you play it. So you might get tired playing it and fall asleep or something. I need to kill this guy because I don't want to encounter him on the way back. He's going to be in my path. I need the path to be as clear as possible. Make sure he's dead. Yeah, he's dead. Health item there. Might as well grab that. So this door is also locked. That's one of the doors that I unlocked by putting the code into that computer. And again, I need my path to be as clear as possible. So I want to get rid of all zombies on the way. Yep, looks like those are dead. So at this point, since I'm running on an Xbox One controller, anytime you run with the control scheme I'm doing and you use the analog stick, you automatically run. And as you can see, running could cause a fatal explosion with this fuel cell capsule. So I'm just going to use the digital, which automatically just walks. With the digital, if you hold the X button on your Xbox One controller or the 360 controller, that's when you run. This is my way. So going digital is my way of remembering to only walk at this part here. Now if you take too long and you kill this zombie right here, and then you take too long running around, you could run the risk of, once you get the fuel cell and refueling it, that he turns into a crimson head and then it's game over because you have to run away from him, and if you don't, you'll just blow up from the impact of him slashing at you in the Crimson Head form. I'm saying all these things because I made these mistakes. So don't do what I've done. And we can run. So now we need to actually turn on the elevator. Those guys, I forget what they're called. Maybe it'll come to me, maybe not. We got another defense item. But they're in Resident Evil 3, the remake. Of course, they look different, but I mean, I always thought they looked great, even in this game. I always thought their models looked great. Their animation takes a while to hit you, so a lot of times you can dodge them fairly easily. See how long it took them to cock back just now. So typically I don't engage, I just run right by them. The only reason I killed the one earlier because he would have been in my path when I had the fuel cell, and then that could have been another thing that would end up triggering an explosion of the fuel cell, because either you have to shoot him or you have to run from him, or else get hit by him. And either one of those three actions are catastrophic when you're carrying the fuel cell with you. Finally, some grenade rounds. I don't really think I need them, but okay, thanks. Go ahead and get the grenade launcher. Oh yeah, I could have just dumped them right in there from the could have dumped them right in there from the item box, but forgot about that. In the GameCube version, there was a glitch, probably a well-known glitch, where you can get unlimited grenade rounds if you did it right. Right here at this, because I didn't save Barry is nowhere around. Typically this, if you save Barry, when you get to the elevator here, it'll be you and Barry riding up the elevator. He'll catch up with you, you know, at that part of the game. But when you don't save Barry, and you don't save Chris, actually the game is a lot easier.
Wesker!
Barry's a disappointment. It's too bad he wasn't much of a poker player.
You were behind all of this. Why eliminate stars?
Believe it or not, that's Umbrella's intention.
So having stars nosing about is an inconvenience. You're just like all the other things. A slave of Umbrella.
Smart girl, but I think you misunderstand me. The things you mentioned are nothing. I'll burn all of them along with this entire laboratory. That will be the end of my connection with Umbrella.
What? What are you planning?
I want to show you something. ultimate life form. Tyrant.
You couldn't have been experimenting on people.
It's beautiful.
For the sake of this thing?
You'll never understand.
I'll deal with you, freak.
Yeah, I guess the voice acting, it's better in this Resident Evil. No. Seriously? No. I shot him one time with the Magnum. I used no health items. Okay. I mean, when you don't save Chris or Barry, the game is so much easier. This is on hard mode. So maybe now that he got dropped by just one shot, maybe I'll see him at the end. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But typically, when you don't save Jill or Barry, and you take him down in the lab right there, once you get towards the end of the game, at the actual end of the game, you skip fighting him a second time altogether. So we'll see. Another thing, usually at this part of the game, heard some footsteps. Usually at this part of the game, you will see other enemies. And then also the self-destruct alarm will be going off. You know, it's not really a Resident Evil game unless the place self-destructs at the end. So when I use this key, I'm still going to have it in my inventory. So let me put it away. That would be the last use for the key if I saved Chris in this playthrough. I'm not gonna pick that up. Don't worry.
This is Brad. I'm running out of fuel. If there's anyone alive, contact me now or just give me a sign. I repeat, this is your last chance.
It's a cool scene right here. Nobody's coming. The alternate ending, your buddies will be here. Chris and Barry will both be in this area. Chris will say something cheesy if you save him. Typical Chris fashion. Chris is really goofy in this version of Resident Evil. I mean, Jill as well. They really fine-tuned their characters, made them a little, you know, more, you know, made them into more of a hero. Okay. No extra tyrant battle. Like I said, when you don't save Chris or Barry, the game's it's just a lot easier. When you do save God, what's his name? Not Brad. The guy that gets bit by the snake. Richard. When you do save Richard, he helps you in the game. But just if you're trying to do a quick playthrough, then just forget about him. So that's it, guys. That's Resident Evil HD Remastered. I'll let the credits play out, and we'll see what my game time was and whatnot. See if I got the rocket launcher, because I think that's what you get if you beat it in less than 3 hours. You know, like and subscribe. If you guys have any questions, either you know, emulation related, PC stuff in general, PC gaming, anything like that, I'd be happy to help. I always reply back to anyone asking, you know, a technical question that I can answer, and if I don't have the answer, point you in the right direction. Next up, like I said, I'm doing Resident Evil 2, the remastered version of Resident Evil 2. In honor of Capcom's remake trilogy. Once we get Resident Evil 3, the trilogy will be complete. I'm gonna have my my little cheat sheet for Resident Evil 2, because I mean, if you played that, you know it's got a ton of puzzles in that one. Like I said, this video will be coming out April Fool's Day, April 1st, and I think it's really appropriate that April 1st for the first Resident Evil HD Remastered, their remake, April 2nd for Resident Evil 2 remake, and April 3rd the release of Resident Evil 3 remake. I may go ahead and download it ahead of time on my Xbox.
Jill, you did a fine job.
Alright, so there you are, 2 hours, 46 minutes. Let's see, ammo use, no ink ribbons, of course. That should be enough. Closet key, which I already have, but I got a new costume in there. And the really fancy rocket launcher that they give you in this one. I like the rocket launcher in this one because you're able to aim up and down, which is something you could never do with the rocket launcher in previous Resident Evils. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and save this game. You know, don't forget to like and subscribe. Dislike it if you don't like it. And see you guys next time.